Hi, today's Friday the 13th, and this is going to be your reading for the full moon in Pisces. This is a general energy transmission for all signs. This is not an astrology report. I'm not an astrologer. I'm a channel, and this is going to be a channeled message for the collective. I'm going to use the Voyager deck for the first spread and do a general reading for the energies available to everyone. And then I'm going to take the Morgan Blue deck and pull a few cards for each of the zodiac signs to give a little bit more insight and detail into what may be happening on an individual level for the zodiac signs. So please tune in with me while I shuffle. Take a moment here to check in with your higher self and your guides. Ask them to commune with my higher self and my guides so that we can create a feedback loop to make sure that the messages that come through here are tailored for you. The energy that you contribute to this reading is definitely part of what comes through. So please take a moment here to really set up that dialogue so that you can contribute to the energy transmission as it's being channeled through. So let's take a look. One more shuffle. Ace of Crystals upright, nice. Crossed by the 10 of Pentacles, 9 of Wands, Magician reversed. 6 of Cups, 6 of Wands, interesting. Balance in reverse, it's the Justice card from other decks. Emperor reversed, Strength reversed, interesting. 2 of Worlds reversed. 8 of Crystals, Fool reversed. 3 of Pentacles, and 5 of Cups upright. So what's interesting here is that before I turned on the camera, I was shuffling with the other deck, and Emperor, Strength, and the Fool were cards that came out, that flipped out during that shuffle. So that feels really significant. I'll see what comes through for that in this reading. But those cards are in themselves already very strong energies, and seeing them come out twice now already within the space of a few minutes is, I think, very significant. So as far as major arcana cards here, there is quite a few actually, and in fact all the major arcana that are present in this reading are in the reverse. So we have Balance, which as I mentioned is Justice from the Rider Waite deck, from other decks. Magician and Emperor here in the foundations of the reading, both reversed. And Strength and the Fool paired together in the Hopes and Fears quadrant, both in reverse. Doesn't mean bad things at all. Please don't get panicky or worried or nervous. Reversals don't mean bad. That's too simplistic of a view. Okay, at the heart of the reading, we have the Ace of Crystals, which is the Ace of Swords, in the upright position, crossed by the 10 of Pentacles. I like this energy. Let me tune in. I feel that for, I mean, in general, not just with regard to those specific two cards at the center of the reading here, but I feel what I'm feeling here for the general energy is that there is a moment here available for everyone that has a potential to give a kind of reset. That's what this feels like. It's kind of a reset moment. But for some people, this may come as a kind of irritating in some ways. Like for some people, there may be information coming to light. That's what I feel with the Ace and the Magician and even the Balance card here. There could be information coming to you now that may be kind of coming out of the blue, maybe coming as a surprise. It may have been unexpected. You may be getting results back from tests, or you may be getting, a surprise letter in the mail, or you could be getting news from your accountant, something along those lines. Like you could be getting information, or you could be realizing it's almost like the data that has been collected over a period of time, which you haven't checked in on, is now becoming really relevant, and it's becoming very upfront and in your face. And it may be a little bit irritating or disturbing. Like that's what I feel a lot of these reversals cards are here, with the 5 of Cups, Balance in reverse, Emperor, 3 of Worlds. There's this energy here of information coming to you that has an impact. It has a very sudden impact. It has a just give me a second. The point I'm trying to make here is that the information that's coming to you may not be exciting. It may not be flashy. It may not be that you won the lottery. It may not be that you got that job offer that you wanted. It's more about how information that you're receiving now is empowering you to make changes that are necessary in ways where you may have allowed certain energies to become stagnant because you kind of just let them be as they were without tending to them. Or you may have got too comfortable in certain ways, and you may not have been as attentive or providing maintenance required in certain areas. And now there's this time here, there's an opportunity, I feel, to kind of give a sort of like, it's like turning the soil over, you know, like you like this happened to me this week. I got news from my accountant that was really shocking and kind of disturbing, and came out of like as a big surprise to me. But what it's catalyzed me to do is to pay attention to a lot of detail stuff now, like really dig into areas that I've been kind of ignoring and letting them run on automations. And it's a turnover energy. That's what I feel here. Like, you may have got disappointing news. You may have heard something that you didn't want to hear. But the point is, how does it catalyze you to act? Like, what does that information provide for you as far as inspiration and motivation? Even when on paper you could easily let it just hit you hard and let you slump into a sad moment or a depression or anxiety or nervous tension or any of that kind of stuff. Like, no, what are you going to do about it? How are you going to respond? What action are you going to take? How are you going to be proactive? How are you going to nurture yourself and nurture your reality by paying attention to things that you may have let get too sticky or comfortable or ignored for too long? Now it's time to pay attention to those details and use integrity, use strength, use integrity, use foresight as well. Using also here with Two of Wands and Eight of Crystals, using empowered decision making to balance your resources internally and externally, to make decisions that will have a harmonizing and balancing effect on your life. I like how there's these two sixes on either side of the central axis of this reading. This is giving me this energy of, again, harmonization, like you taking in information that may not be thrilling and kind of turning it out in a way that is creating a harmonized and balanced reality, given that you, in this position here, you have balance in reverse with disappointment. So like, this is the energy that you're coming into this reading with, but where we're being pushed out is to this area of empowerment, integrity, decision making, synthesis of information, trusting our decision making, trusting our intuition, trusting that there's no bad, there's no good, right? There's information that's coming in, and there is your ability to respond and react in a timely way to that information, to turn the soil, to create anew, to harmonize and balance, and to address areas that may have been allowed to be stagnant for a little bit too long. But again, all in good timing. There's no judgment, there's no bad, there's no wrong, there's no right. It's just this moment and the opportunity that's being provided. Ace of Crystals. It's like a fresh mental energy here, fresh mental energy. It's like you're taking all that information and collecting all the data that's coming in from areas where, you know, you may have received information that was not pleasant, but you're doing something really empowered with it. And you're allowing this opportunity to actually give you like a slingshot forward. It's that energy of like pulling back the rubber on the slingshot and allowing it to propel you forward, using fresh ideas, approaching old problems with new inspiration, with new concepts, with futuristic thinking, with forward thinking, with foresight. Right? That's what the Ace of Crystals is giving. And with the crossing card here being the Ten of Pentacles, it does have for a lot of people, I think, to do with your legacy, your lifelong vision, maybe it's your business or whatever pet projects you have, or ways that you channel your energy into life that may have been I'm hearing resting on your laurels. So if you've been a little bit too passive maybe, or if you've been too inactive, or if you've been too at ease in a way. I'm not telling you to work harder. Because I feel like our culture has this kind of pressure to, you know, work harder. I'm talking about just being more, just precise, really precise with your energy, where you put it and how you put it and why. Come from that place of intention. Channel your magic into things that are really meaningful. Be really thoughtful. Use integrity. Synthesize all your experiences in a way that you can push things out that have benefit and value to other people. Let's have a look at the bottom of the deck. There's another 5 now. 2 5s in the reading. 5 of Crystals in reverse. Woman of Wands upright. 4 of Wands upright. And 4 of Crystals. Yeah. There is an establishment here. That's what I feel like. You have Emperor here and 2 4s. So 3 4s in your reading. That's significant. That's telling me that while this may be a moment of concern, ever so briefly, what it's providing for is for you to, again, as I said, turn the soil, but use it as a milestone. Like use it as a point of reflection to see where you've been, how you got to this point, and how you can utilize this moment to access a greater ability to consolidate your resources and your energy and really establish something really firmly to then continue to create exponentially from here. But there is a little bit of a need to address that which has spoiled. And I don't mean that in a negative way. I just mean like if something's gone past the point of it, like if it's gone past its expiration date, like remove things that are not relevant or valid or have I'm hearing continuation. So what you can continue on with should be nurtured, and what needs to be discontinued should be filed away. Okay, that's a lot of what this energy is here. I feel like there's something's gone past its expiration date, and you may need to just simply acknowledge that and put it away so that you can move forward with all of your energy into things that are really meaningful, that you can nurture and actually grow more. I'm seeing a visual of like a plant with dead leaves on it, right? Like if the plant has some yellow leaves on it or some sort of dying leaves, it's going to keep trying to put energy into it to keep it alive. But if you remove those dead leaves, it can use all of its chi to kind of continue to grow the rest of the plant. But if those dead leaves are still on the plant, it's gonna diminish the ability for that plant to grow onward, because it's going to strive to keep those other dying leaves alive. So this is part of a kind of cleaning up, filtering process. I'm just tapping into right now realizing that this is a Pisces full moon, but I'm not really feeling a lot of emotional energy in this reading. It's a very pragmatic energy, actually. You have 6 of Cups here in the past, 5 of Cups is here, and that's it for Cups energy in this reading. There's a lot of crystals, there's a lot of wands. Crystals are the air element, that's the swords, and all these major arcana energy. I feel like this is a time to be really pragmatic and actually unemotional, which would seem kind of counterintuitive to the astrology. But as I said, I'm not an astrologer, I'm a channel. I'm just channeling this energy in right now. There is these the 6 and 5 of Cups here, but I feel it as a very transient energy, a very passing energy, where there is this, and I don't feel it as a sadness actually. There is like grief associated with these 2 cards, and maybe sadness and sorrow. But how I'm feeling this is more about that energy I described there, with what has passed its expiration date, and what can you comfortably and without nostalgia or without regret or remorse remove from your life, so that you can really funnel and channel energy and chi into the things that actually really have the potential to continue to grow. What is it that you need to leave behind here? We've strengthened the Fool together, both in reverse here. It's kind of this kind of energy I'm touching on here, right? Like, I feel like Strength is giving this insight about what is it that you need to eliminate to elaborate. That's what I just heard. Eliminate to elaborate. So look at that. Like, if there's things that you may be keeping alive that actually are not really nurturing you, and they don't really have, if you can't see a sort of value that could be continued or that could be nurtured and developed further, then this may be a time to kind of eliminate certain activities, events, or even people that you don't see kind of moving forward with you. And the Strength card is providing a little bit of insight here about, again, confidence. I also feel there is again about boundaries here. Like, I'm hearing reservation. So, but what I feel when I hear that word is that it's about your personal energy, your energy body, your chi, and how you're managing it. And if you don't have, the reserves to provide energy to people or activities or things that are not nurturing you in return, then this is the kind of stuff we're talking about here that needs to be eliminated, or at least reflected upon and, observed and witnessed, and perhaps analyzed to the point of really clearly, with pragmatism and practicality, to see if it's something that you really want to continue with or not. But yeah, Fool in reverse, there is like an energy here of something new, but it's more of a continuation of that which has already been. But it's bringing me this feeling here of a need to analyze and eliminate. All right, we're at 16 minutes here now. I just want to check over. I don't want this reading to go on too long. Okay, let's talk about these cards here. As I said, these two fours here, along with the Emperor. As I mentioned in the beginning, the Emperor and the Strength and the Fool card had all come out when I was shuffling the Morgan Greer deck before I turned on the camera. So my feeling with that is that there is this energy, as I said, of maintenance, consolidation, and the reaching of a milestone. But in order to really access the energy of that milestone with these 3 fours here, there is this feeling of needing to analyze and assess that which needs to be left behind. And it's about collecting the energy that has vitality that can be built upon, and just checking in over things that you may have allowed to get stagnant, or that you may have just left on automation that isn't really being tended to in a way that is providing value back. Okay? So we could be talking about very practical things here in terms of your work, but we could be talking also very strictly about metaphysical and energetic things. Okay? So just tune into that and see what it is that you need to assess, analyze, and evaluate in your own life, so that you can eliminate certain things in order to elaborate. Eliminate to elaborate. I like that. Okay. 5 of Crystals in reverse with Woman of Wands upright. More of the same. It feels like an assessment energy. Assessing with pragmatism. There's a lot of crystals actually energy in this card. You have Balance, which is a very air energy, very crystalline energy. As is the Magician. Ace of Crystals, 8 of Crystals, 5 of Crystals, 4 of Crystals. So there's a lot of contemplation. There's also a lot of assessing, analyzing, data management, and deliberation over things, and decision making. Okay? I feel like that's it for the general reading. I would just say here, don't be afraid to move on from things. You know, don't be afraid to move on. Don't be afraid to move on. You will flourish. You will elaborate. Okay. Okay, so from here we're going to take the Morgan Greer deck, and I'm going to pull a few cards for each of the zodiac signs, so that we can get a little bit more insight on how this energy might be focused specifically for each of the astrological signs. So tune in with me again while I shuffle. And send your energy over into the deck so I can get really clear messages for you. I would recommend that you watch through all to the end, not just only your sign, because all of these messages will be relevant for you in some way. If you know your chart, you can associate each of the signs that I will discuss here with the house that it's in your own personal chart, to see how the messages for each sign will be relevant and appropriate for you in your particular case. Otherwise, just watch through and just take what you need from all the cards, all the messages that get pulled through. Because for the most part, all of the information that comes through is all really wonderful, timeless wisdom that is appropriate and relevant for almost anyone. So tune in. We're going to start with, I guess, Virgo, since we're in the Virgo birthday month. We're in the Virgo season. So let's take a look. Knight of Cups reversed and 8 of Wands with the Chariot. This is beautiful. I feel for this energy, Knight of Cups in reverse with the 8 of Wands and the Chariot. I feel that there is like a need. I feel like you really need to communicate right now. You have a strong desire to communicate. You may have a strong charging energy. Like you may want to really forge your way ahead. That's what I feel with these two cards here. There's a very activated energy in you. But this Knight of Cups in reverse is giving some other kind of energy. Maybe again with relationship to what we spoke about here. Like there could be a moment here to assess. This could be just a reminder for you to assess like what offers you have available to you, and also offers that you wish to make. Just reassess what is actually really valid and useful and usable at this time. Right? Like I'm feeling with this energy, don't pour your efforts and energy into something that's not receptive to you. That's what I feel with these three cards. Don't be stubborn and headstrong about where you're pouring your energy just because that's what you want to do. You need to understand how to read the lay of the land and understand if that soil is receptive to the seeds you have. Okay? Be mindful. That's what I'm hearing. Be mindful. Don't be so stubborn and headstrong as to just push forward with your own will, because that's what you think, that's what you see. But you have to pay attention to the I'm hearing resources, but pay attention to the energy that the energy of the space that you want to move into, and see if it's actually receptive to you or not. Okay, Virgo. Libra, 2 of Wands, 10 of Pentacles reversed, and 5 of Wands. We had the 10 of Pentacles here as the crossing card of the reading for the general energy. 2 of Wands, 10 of Pentacles reversed, and 5 of Pentacles reversed. I feel like you have some inner conflict here about your resources and the work that you're doing, the time that you're putting into certain things. I feel like there's, I feel like with this 10 of Pentacles and 5 of Wands, both in reverse, I feel like you have some kind of inner conflict that you need to decide over, about maybe projects that you're doing with other people and or your living environment. You may have outgrown a team or a home or a space or a group or a community. You may have outgrown them, and you may need to assess, analyze, and deliberate over whether or not you're going to continue to pour your resources into that or not, and consider the benefits, or consider the value of what you can contribute and what you can get in return for your contribution. I'll leave it there, Libra. After Libra is Scorpio. Is that right? Scorpio? Yeah. Queen of Swords reversed, 5 of Cups reversed, another repeating card, and 2 of Cups upright. What is this? Queen of Swords reversed, 5 of Cups reversed, and 2 of Cups upright. It's for Scorpio. Well, I mean, what's jumping out to me about these two cards is that, okay, this 5 of Cups character is like there's the 3 cups spilled over and 2 cups upright, but it's in reverse in this situation. And then there's there's those 2 cups here. What does it mean? I'm hearing it's not over. But with this Queen of Swords in reversed here, I feel that you may be holding back on communicating something to your partner. For those of you in a relationship here, this could be suggesting that there is a need for some honesty here, because you may not be fulfilled in your partnership, but you may not be communicating that. So you may be continuing on in a situation that actually you don't feel like you want to continue putting your energy and resources into. So just take a look at that and see if that feels like it makes sense for you. If you need to like create a dialogue with someone that's honest and open, you know, with regard to how and where you're putting your resources. Scorpio, Capricorn, Hermit, 7 of Swords, and the Hierophant. Wow, interesting. Hermit, 7 of Swords, and Hierophant. Very, very interesting combination of cards. What do I feel? What I'm getting from the energy of these 3 cards is that you may have been like kind of in reclusive mode. You may have been in reclusive mode. You may have been taking time out, especially given that this is the Virgo card and when Virgo season. You may have been using the time of this energy of this time to analyze. I'm hearing restore. You may have been on retreat. You may have been a little bit reclusive or a little bit withdrawn from your normal social activities or social events. You may have been doing something particularly different from your normal routines in order to assess. Again, this kind of theme of assessment that's coming up in this reading. You may have been assessing what your resources are. And I feel that this is a message here to say it could be time to be coming out of that reclusion mode soon or around this time, and start to use the resources that you have discovered through your contemplation, through your time of reclusion. You may have understood what resources you actually have available to you and how to use them. That's what I'm getting from this Seven of Swords card here. It's like how to be resourceful with what you have, you know? Especially if you've experienced some kind of loss in recent months, you may have taken this hermit position in reclusion to be contemplative, to try to gather your resources, understand what your resources really are, what you have access to. And so the Seven of Swords is saying, now you may have understood what your resources are or what you have available to you. And the Hierophant here is saying, like, time to turn that energy of contemplation, that inward energy, outward, and start to share those resources with people. So whether this is in a position of teaching or writing or performing or sharing in some way, that which you have understood to be your resources. I'll leave it there. That's Sagittarius. Capricorn, Eight of Cups, Priestess reversed, and the Knight of Pentacles reversed. Okay. Capricorn. I feel a little bit sad with these three cards for you, Capricorn. Eight of Cups, Priestess reversed, and Knight of Pentacles reversed. I feel like there's a little bit of despondency with this energy. A little bit of lack of hope or loss of hope here for you. Melancholy. And that's okay. I'm not trying to bypass that or dismiss that. If that's what you feel and that's where you are, I'm not here to try to tell you to be positive and whatever. It is what it is. But don't try to disregard your own emotions too. Like if this is what you're experiencing, then really go into them and try to create an understanding or dialogue between you and what you're feeling, so that you're not, you know. I think that's a lot of what happens for people when they get into a space of depression. I think culturally, it's so taboo to be depressed or to talk about it, that people try to hide it or disguise it or mask it, and I think that maybe prolongs that space. So, you know, if you're relating to what I'm talking about and you're feeling these things, don't try to bypass, don't try to avoid. I feel like the energy here is saying to kind of really go into that and look at what it is that you're really feeling, and look at what it is that is coming up. Like, I feel like the Priestess in reverse here is saying that you may be trying to avoid the feelings, you know? You may be trying to limit your sensations, but you might be trying to detach or dissociate from the things that you're feeling. But I feel like this is a message here to say, no, don't do that. Really go into what you're feeling, express what's there, and find ways to channel it out. Like, use your patience, use your determination to actually be willing to be in the process of whatever it is that you're going through, and don't try to dodge or avoid or minimize or limit. Just be real about what you're feeling and where you're at, and it's okay. You don't have to be anything for anyone. Just be in what you're feeling and express what you need to express for yourself in ways that you can, in ways that you feel comfortable, in order to channel the energy, in order to get really deeply in touch with your emotions, because your spirit is trying to communicate with you. And if you're trying to dissociate or separate yourself from difficult feelings, you're missing out on a dialogue that your spirit, your soul is attempting to reach you with. So turn and face it. Aquarius, Nine of Wands, Knight of Swords, and Two of Swords in reverse. Aquarius, there's something here. I feel like look at these two characters first of all, back to back. There could be some kind of disagreement here going on. There could be some tension between you and another person. There could be some lack of communication here. Both of these cards have a bit of impatient, frustrated energy, a bit pissed off even. So if that's the case, if you're having some kind of standoff with someone or disagreement with someone, this Two of Swords in reverse is telling me that you need to be really honest about actually what really is happening here, because you could be missing the point, and this tension and drama, this is drama. I feel this is drama. This drama could be over much more quickly if you're willing to remove this blindfold and actually see the truth of the situation or circumstance. Be honest with yourself about what you said and what you did and what you thought. And you could bring that honest, genuine, authentic, humble communication to another person, and it could dissolve this tension. But look at how these two, you know, the sword and the wand from these two characters back to back, they're touching each other, and then you have this two of swords here. Like, it's so interesting. I love the tarot, the reflection of symbols and the energy of the shapes and the geometry and everything. It's fascinating, right? What I'm getting with that too is that there's the intersection point, right? The intersection point where these two weapons touch and connect. And look at how the two swords in this card, where they touch in the middle, is over the heart. So that's the message here. Is I think it's about coming from the heart space, coming from like softening the energy, because these two cards have both got anger and frustration in them. Not that there's anything wrong with anger and frustration in general. Like all emotions are valid. Every feeling has a purpose and a function, and it's nothing to be dismissed or intimidated by or avoided of, right? I'm totally down with everything being relevant and valid. But just see here where you may be getting stuck on a point that's actually wrong because it's not true. You know, this is about truth. It's about being truthful. Aquarius. Pisces, Magician reverse, another repeating card. Six of Cups again, and Six of Pentacles. Pisces. What's going on here? So there's like this repeating energy. There's the Magician from the previous reading was in the foundation. They're both reversed here. Then you have the Six of Cups was in the position of the past from the previous reading. Here it is again. And the Six of Pentacles, while it's not actually in the reading, there was another six here, Six of Wands in the outcome card. So there's a lot of mirroring going on here. So I think for Pisces, and we are reading for the Pisces moon here, there's some really specific and profound messages that are available to you that require you to pay attention to pretty much what I'm going to say here in a nutshell is what the whole general reading was for everyone. I think it's very specifically here for you about exploring and assessing where it is that you're channeling your energy and why. How can you address... I feel like with this energy, specifically for Pisces, there's an energy here that's saying you need to stop ruminating because you're channeling too much of your energy into memories. You're putting too much of your energy into the past. Your nostalgia may be causing melancholy. It may be causing a weakness or a debilitation or a leakage or tapping of energy coming out that's not really serving you at all. So this energy here is describing the need to address the fact that you may be thinking too much about the past, that you may be ruminating about events gone by, about maybe a particular individual specifically. And seek to restore your energy and harmonize and balance your energy and bring yourself into the present moment. You're living in the past in a certain way, and it's not serving you. It's not serving you. It's weakening and it's debilitating. So please address that. If that's resonating for you, Pisces, look at where you are spending too much time in your mental space, ruminating over the past, reliving events from the past, reliving conversations, thinking about someone that's no longer in your life, or even thinking about someone who is in your life, but you may be spending too much time in fantasy or in dreamy kind of, like nostalgic place, and it's preventing you from being present and in the moment, and you are missing out on certain joys that are available to you because you're not really present here. Pisces. Aries, Three of Pentacles. It's also a repeating card from the first reading. Page of Pentacles upright and the Fool reverse. So more repeating energy here in this reading for Aries. I feel here what is this? I feel there's definitely work energy about in this three cards here, like Three of Pentacles, okay, work. Page of Pentacles, also earthy energy. And with the Fool reversed, I feel like there may be, because you may be sort of in the early stages of something. You may need to assess, again, reassess, analyze the data, look over the details of maybe current information that's arriving on your desk, or things that, like pieces of information or communication that's coming to you now that may be like triggering you to reassess what's already been begun. Reassess what's already been begun and see what you may need to refine and tweak. Even though you're still in the early stages, you may need to go back over certain things and refine, change, eliminate, file, refile, you know, this kind of stuff to kind of get your startup really started. I don't know if that's relevant for you, but so I feel the Fool here. There's some issue about what's been already established needing to be, I'm hearing discipline, Page of Pentacles. I feel like whatever you've established so far needs to be reviewed. I'll leave it there for Aries. Taurus. Empress upright. Moon. Wow. An Ace of Wands. Beautiful. Wow. Empress with the Moon and Ace of Wands. This is a very incredibly powerful, vital, earthy, intuitive energy. Like this pretty much actually nails the Taurian energy actually. The Empress and the Moon. Like specifically earth magic, intuitive, connected, resonant, deep, vital, nurturing, healing. I think this is a very healing time for the Taurian people with these three cards. I feel like there's some kind of opening happening in your vitality, in the chi, in your energy, connected to some type of intuitive insight with relation to your physicality, with your personality, with your general essence is being really exponentiated here. I feel like this time of assessment is doing you very well. I'm a Taurus here, if you didn't know. So I feel like what I've been experiencing at this time, and that first reading pretty much summed it up. Like realizing certain things that again resting on my laurels is coming in. Like I feel like I let myself get too comfortable or too automated in certain things, and then information came to light about what I had kind of just let run bit by itself. That triggered a response in me that made me feel very activated and motivated to make some changes, to reorganize, to reassess, to, you know, get activated and fired up again about things that I may have been, you know, just letting be. And that's okay. It's no right or wrong. It's not bad. It's not good. It's just timing, right? There's a moment here where things are becoming evident and relevant again in ways that are providing a space for that reassessment, for that decision making, for that reordering, reorganizing, refiling, to create more space, more vitality, more freedom, more creativity, whatever it is that you want. But there's a big healing energy I feel for this Taurus, the Taurus people in this reading. I'll leave it there. After Taurus, we have Gemini. Nine of Swords reversed, with the Page of Swords reversed, and the Lovers reversed. Okay. There is some real need for communication here in your relationships. There's something specific that needs to be communicated about freedom. I feel like in Gemini's reading here for you right now, you need to be aware of the ways in which you may be seeking to control or inhibit or restrict your partner, ways that you may not have been even aware of it. There's a need here for you to, like this Page of Swords in reverse here feels to me like the communication has not been clear. And maybe what this is indicating for Gemini people is that you may not even realize this energy. Some of you maybe, but maybe some of you haven't even yet acknowledged that you may have been trying to inhibit or restrict or limit or bind your partner in a certain way, or kind of separate them somehow from their freedom. There could be a bit of codependency energy in this as well. And with the Lovers in reverse here, there's a need to restore equality and harmony in your relationships. So if there is something here about like you trying to dominate or control a person, it's time to get really fucking honest about that and address it. Cancer, Temperance, Four of Pentacles, and Seven of Cups. Okay. Another 4 coming out in the reading. As I mentioned, there was 3 4s in that previous spread. I feel here for Cancer, with Temperance card upright, 4 of Pentacles upright, and 7 of Cups upright. This is telling me that you may need to address, actually, again, it's a repetition of what we've been talking about this whole time. There is energy here of needing to, I hear draw boundaries. That's definitely the 4 of Pentacles. But I feel there is a need here to get really realistic about where you're putting your energy. Okay, the seven of Cups here is giving this kind of dreamy, fantastical. Again, it's kind of an assessment energy, but I feel this is more, rather than, like the first reading was very pragmatic, very practical. This is giving an energy here of suggestion that you may need to put a little bit more energy into your imagination to solve a problem. If you're feeling a little bit like, I'm feeling a kind of weariness with these 2 cards. I feel like there's a physical weakness maybe, or also a little bit despondent. Even though these 2 cards are upright, the 3 cards here are upright, I'm feeling a bit of despondency in this energy for Cancer. And I feel like there's a weakness in you that you need to address. And I feel like this, bringing in this imaginative energy to kind of like use a bit of fantasy to conjure up solutions or options for yourself. If you're feeling like this is a moment, okay, I'm reassessing, I'm just kind of pulling back a little bit and kind of sitting in my own energy for a minute to kind of figure out like what's actually next, if that's what this energy of reassessment is for you. You know, if you're looking at what's landing on your desk right now and you're kind of figuring out how to deal with it, the solution for Cancers in this situation may be to tap into the imagination and let fantasy kind of take you on a journey to see what options you might have available to you. That was Cancer, and after Cancer is Leo, Star, and the World. Holy shit! And Six of Swords in reverse. Okay, Leo. World Star here. Are you hitting the stage? Are you hitting your stride? Are you a performer? Are you a public figure of some kind? Are you putting yourself out there? Is this a time where you may be actually just realizing that that's actually what you want to do? For some of you. The six of Swords in reverse, though, is interesting. Do we have that in this previous reading? No. We have the 6 of Cups. 6 of Swords in reverse. These two cards here are very, very interesting, very powerful. It's really cool to see these 2 come out together. World and Star. World Star. World Star. Both of these characters are naked. Both of them are juggling objects. So there's this kind of sharing and also vulnerability and exposure with these 2 cards. There's healing energy as well. There's sharing. I feel with this 6 of Swords in reverse, what I'm getting from this is that what you might be sharing in this arena, in this way, is your experiences from the past. So there could be some storytelling involved here. There could be some kind of teaching or writing or sharing in some way that is about your personal experiences, your own vulnerability, your past. You may be bringing your stories out into the public at this time, as a way of, like creating your own healing, but also using that energy of your experience to help others heal too. If this is making sense. But sharing, vulnerability, openness, rawness, exposure, public figure, personality. Okay, that was Leo. I'm going to leave it there. After Leo is Virgo, right? Did I miss anyone? I think we got everything. Yeah, that's it now. We've been around the whole astrological wheel through all of the signs and houses. So I'm going to wrap it up there. I hope that was helpful. I hope there's some things in there that you can work with. It's been an honor and a pleasure to read for you. Thank you so much for liking, sharing, commenting, and subscribing. I look forward to seeing you in the next reading.